Шановні колеги, мої вітання. Вітання усім тим, хто долучається до четвертого дня нашого курсу «Наука та штучний інтелект. Нова парадигма». Наразі бачимо, що люди ще доєднуються. Ну і по ходу нашої з вами роботи, я сподіваюся, що ми отримаємо достатню кількість слухачів для того, щоб наша дискусія була такою живою, як і усі попередні 3 дні, і ми мали можливість поспілкуватися і подискутувати ще на одну цікаву тему, яка безпосередньо сьогодні заявляється. Шановні друзі, сьогодні ми будемо мати англомовну сесію, бо сьогодні у нас гість з-за кордону, який знає про те, як застосовується штучний інтелект в освітній і науковій діяльності з іншого боку. Бо він є представником компанії-розробника програмного забезпечення для перевірки унікальності текстів та AI Checkers. І безпосередньо ми сьогодні побачимо інший погляд. Я не можу говорити про те, яким буде цей погляд, тому що сам дуже хочу побачити цей погляд. Однак точно він буде інший, тому що 3 дні ми мали спілкування безпосередньо в середовищі науковець-науковець або науковець-викладач. Ну а сьогодні ми вже маємо можливість попрацювати з представником компанії розробників програмного забезпечення, які піклуються про те, щоб усі програмні продукти, які розробляються, мали найбільшу користь. Ми з вами дуже активно дискутували про роль AI-чекерів впродовж минулих днів, і сьогодні буде дуже цікаво послухати доповідь сьогоднішнього спікера і задати питання. Тож сьогодні ми маємо з вами англомовну сесію. Ну і я безпосередньо перейду вже до представлення нашого спікера і дуже коротке інтро. So, dear Pavel, good day. We are very glad to see you and the first slide of your presentation. And dear colleagues, I want to introduce today's speaker, Pavel Milashevich, Head of Global Sales and Partnership at Identifi Company. As you remember, last time and last days and last few months, we have the discussion about the role of AI checkers in our scientific life. What are the benefits from using of AI checkers? What are the obstacles? What are the challenges? What is the evidence of correctness of AI checkers? And many other questions are faced before starting of our scientific activity and using AI in academia. So I hope that today Pavel will answer on some question, and he will describe some interesting things on the developer point of view. It's very important for us to hear what is the other angle of view for the AI checkers and software developers in general at this very, very active time of AI implementation. So, dear Pavel, your presentation AI in academia, facts, figures, and emerging trends. We are starting, and the floor is yours. You're welcome.
Yes, thank you very much, Artyom, for your kind words. And yes, exactly as you said, today you will hear, let's say, some facts and figures from dark side, from vendor perspective.
I don't think so from other side. Yeah.
It's
correct. Yeah.
Let's soften the term from other side.
Yeah.
So basically, as Artyom introduced me, my name is Pavel Milashevich. I lead sales in Identific. So today we will discuss, because I'd like this session to be interactive. So that's why I call it a discussion. So the agenda is to discuss the adoption, like the speed of adoption and the what is going to be next. Then challenges which we notice ourselves. Of course, we hear them from you, but we also notice them. Then what is the opportunity for AI in education and for vendors such as we are in academia sector? And then what are the current solutions and new technology developments which we expect to produce together with our counterparties and other companies. And then I reserved a huge amount of time for Q&A, like for a discussion. So why am I here? I'm here because I represent Identific. It's a similarity checker and AI detection software. Or let's say we like to call ourselves as a platform which supports academic integrity and which helps university to maintain certain level, high level of academic integrity. So we're based in Lithuania. Greetings from snowy Vilnius, and the company originated here. So our key features, as you probably know, is text similarity, AI detection, which I mentioned, translated text plagiarism. I just, mention it for you to recall who we are and why we are here. If somebody didn't hear about us yet, so we are quite young, but also quite mature. So we were born in 2011, and we evaluated from a plagiarism tool to, let's say, a full set platform for university to check students' work, to educate them on how to use AI, and also mostly what I like about us is that we suggest that certain paper might have some issues. Despite the fact that we show different scores, like AI detection score, it is still should be treated as a suggestion. So yeah, I promised you some facts. Basically, let's start from the very beginning. Let's start from the schools. Because in a few years, these pupils, they will come to university and they will become your students, your researchers, later on colleagues. So we conducted a survey in several countries. So more than 300 pupils were interviewed, and it happened in 2024. And one of the interesting discoveries which we met is that we checked the average text length of the papers that are being uploaded to our system. And we noticed that the documents tend to get longer. So for example, from 5,000 words before the AI, we see a 50% growth in 2025 in AI era. And well, I think everybody understands that's thanks to AI generations and corrections, that's how our documents grow. Because there were never a period in history when the standard documents would experience such a tremendous jump. So I believe you also noticed that with let's say, with LinkedIn posts, because that's my personal experience, right? So before the ChatGPT era, all LinkedIn posts were, I'm excited to start a new position, or let's say a few words, I will be attending a conference. And nowadays, we see really long posts, which can be treated as a bachelor thesis, probably. And that's personally for me, that's really annoying. So what I want to mention here, well, the infusion of AI tools into education between 2023 and 25 has been very rapid and profound. And we have witnessed students around the world to embrace generative AI to help with their studies. So we also noticed that educators are grappling with how to respond, and institutions are overhauling long-standing practices of grading and how to safeguard academic integrity. Well, and we will see that the data will tell us a very nuanced story. A majority of students will find AI useful for learning, yet a significant portion will also misuse it for shortcutting assignments, for generating theses, and so on. So document cheating cases have been climbing, and we will see that shortly. So yeah, we want to see how AI spreads among pupils, and we conducted this survey. And you see that even in schools in Italy, Spain, and Germany, they already use, like 66% of all pupils already use AI models to complete their homeworks. And these students soon will come to university, and they will become your problem. Well, not your problem, your challenge. Let's put it that way. Yeah, and basically you see these high numbers in pupils adoption, and basically that was 2024. So and I think that these numbers, they grow each and every day. And I also suggest that it is safe to assume that soon it will be 99% of all pupils in schools. And not only in Germany, Italy, and Spain, but also across the globe. So yeah, that's what happens in schools. And later on during our Q&A sessions, I will ask if you see the same trends in Ukraine, if the adoption is really growing so rapidly that teachers in those secondary schools really cannot keep up with what is happening with our young generation. Yeah, so now let's switch to the students, to the actual academia. So these are global numbers. Yeah, and first, 88% of students use generative AI for their assessments. That is what they told us. So it has a huge increase from 2024, like 35 percentage points in just 1 year. So again, I don't think we should look at that like at a trend. This is not an adoption anymore. This is saturation. And 92% of students told us that they use AI in some form. So only 8% are not using it, which I think is not true. By now, it should be closer to 100. What worries us is that, and what is critical, is that academic misconduct cases involving AI usage have increased 4 times in the same time frame, so just in 1 year. But let me pause here because actually these numbers, they don't tell the whole story. And despite the fact that 400% looks really alarming, and basically it is alarming, but we don't know how much of this is real misconduct versus false accusations, detection tool errors, or some legitimate AI tools, usage of which was misclassified. So for example, like Elsevier introduced Scopus AI and ScienceDirect AI. Now they also have a special platform for researchers called Leap. So some of these cases might be, like usage of such systems. But that's where challenge begins for universities, for the academic community, and for us as well. So why do students use AI? So that's let's look at this list very carefully. The top reasons students use AI are legitimate learning and productivity goals, right? So if we say 50% of them said we improve work quality, 58 say we explain difficult concept, summarize readings and articles, get support when tutors is unavailable. This one is great, by the way. But the first line says they save time on assignments. And how can you save time on assignments? Is to delegate it to the AI. And that's, of course, is alarming. That is dishonest attitude. And basically, universities, educators, instructors, they need some tool, which would give them an indication of saving time on assignment. And what I mean by that is like by breaching academical ethics. So what else did we hear from students in 2025? And again, first line of this slide is very alarming. More than half of them fear of being accused of cheating. And one of the reasons for that is that some institutions, some organizations, they misuse these AI detection tools. And we will look into that deeper during the next slides. So yeah, what else they told us? So they really worry about AI accuracy. Everybody knows about these hallucinations which AI may produce. But also they believe, most of them believe that AI literacy is absolutely essential in their future. And that gives us a clear signal that on both, let's say on both sides of this table, we have to get ready to that. But most of the responsibility, of course, lies in universities, in academic institutions, like these special literacy courses should be implemented and should be included in the standard programs at all faculties. And that will, of course, reduce AI misconduct in the future. But also, a short comment on this fear of being accused of cheating. So basically, that creates a chilling effect on learning, because students, they might avoid using some really effective tools, even if they are permitted, but they avoid this, this last step in their, let's say, undergraduate tenure, is checking their theses by AI detection systems. So there we have to find the balance here for the good sake of the students. Yeah, so let me tell you about the case which really concerned us as vendors, us as Identific, and basically student community as well. So in January this year, a 32-year-old student in the University of Minnesota was expelled. And this was the university's first expulsion solely for alleged AI misconduct. And here is what happened. Well, the student took a preliminary exam, which is like a gateway step, which you have to pass before you proceed to your dissertation. And instructions from institutions were really strict, like no AI use. Well, Young, he's a non-native English speaker, reported that he used ChatGPT for grammar checking on his other work, on his previous document, not on this exam. And then, and he submitted his exam. So now, I want to highlight like two different cases. He used ChatGPT on his, let's say, work number A, on his document number A, and he was expelled because of his document number 2, which was this pre-dissertation exam. So faculty graders flagged the content as suspicious. They noticed an acronym in the reading materials. They noticed specific phrases that resembled ChatGPT. Well, ChatGPT style writing. A detection tool was run, and then the panel voted anonymously that that these students more likely cheated than not. Yeah, now it gets really concerning. In this particular situation, student was not given access to detection tool results. He was not allowed independent retesting. The appeal process was limited. And what were the consequences? Well, it was immediate expulsion. And that's really that shocking news. So, and as he was a foreign student in the country, so he lost his student visa, and I believe that his career trajectory also distracted. So yeah, of course, he filed a lawsuit and tried different organizations to to protect his rights. But as of now, I didn't find any update on the situation. So, but anyway, it even doesn't matter if he was reinstituted in the university. I mean, this whole situation is kind of absurd because this should not happen, and that's our responsibility as vendors as well. So let's talk about the technology which is driving all those acquisitions, AI detection tools, which one of those we produce. Well, these tools are supposed to identify whether text was written by a human or generated by AI. It sounds simple, but in reality, it is not. So, as many of your fellow researchers dive deeper into the topic and they do this research on different tools, we see that false positives are still very high, like from 10 to 30%. And even if vendor is not flagging them and saying that is the most accurate, it is not true. So, and if that would not be taken into consideration, imagine that, for example, if 10 cases were flagged by a software system and 30% of those were flagged by mistake, it means like 3 students out of 10 will suffer. Nobody wants that. And that's a really tragic percentage, I should say. Another issue with AI detection technology, if we take it separately from the complexity of tools, is that non-native English speakers are usually flagged times and times more often than native speakers, because detection systems they take their distinctive phrases and mistake it as a ChatGPT or as a model output. And the same goes for neurodivergent students. So, for example, for students with ADHD, and many of us actually might not know if we suffer from certain form of this neuro disease. So these people, they also they write in a very logical, structured way, and they're flagged more often. So basically, the most, well, not, let's say, more vulnerable people are flagged more often than regular students. There was also one university which decided to remain anonymous, which also produced its own institutional research and found that out of 50 flagged theses, 50 flagged documents, 22 were human written. Yeah, and that's basically what they did is they stopped the contract with their AI detection solution provider. So you see, these whole figures, they really draw quite a dark picture. So, and sometimes it's not even a technology problem, but let's say justice problem. If we take each and every student and personally his career and his ability to study further. Yeah, and of course, the consequences of these decisions, they are not just academic. When a student is accused of AI misconduct, correctly or incorrectly, so the fallout is very real for him, for the person. Well, academically, of course, expulsion means failed courses, lost money, inability to finish, to get degrees. Professionally, it means that employer sees academic misconduct on background checks. So, for example, in Lithuania, employer can get quite a lot of information from the university about a student which is coming to work for him. And for international students, just a second. I'll just regain my regain my voice. Yeah, for international students, like the story I told you about Haoshan Yang, it means immediate visa loss. And for example, in Lithuania, we have a lot of international students, and that would be like a critical critical thing for them. It's like a hammer hanging over their head. And of course, psychologically, even even if you're a strong person, if you have to go through a legal battle with university, and even if you are not found guilty in the end, it still, well, damages you, right? So this is why this false positive problem is not abstract, it's very real. And we feel that, and we really acknowledge that, and we want to support educators and students to help them somehow to find this balance. And of course, it is always responsibility of a human to influence other humans' life or career. So it can be never delegated to an algorithm which will produce a certain score. So how institutions respond to that? So many universities, they leave these AI decisions to individual instructors, and that's caused by design. So that it should not happen like this, because for student, let's say his economic professor says no artificial intelligence. Computer science professor says use AI to learn coding. And the philosophy professor says use it, but disclose it. Like 3 different standards in one student's head. That's not right approach. So 20%, they permit use with attribution. And if this procedure is described, that's even better. So it's clear, it's defensible, it's reasonable. It should be like that. 20% ban it entirely. But then I think everybody understands that students use it anyway, right? So it's like the policy exists, but it's honored in the breach. And some of the institutions, they have no policy at all yet. So our opinion as vendors is that instructor discretion is the worst possible policy, because that, first of all, gives us very hard time, because each and every instructor, then each and every professor can look at our findings and at our scores, at our suggestions differently. So there is no institutional backing, no support. And I think it's really hard for professors as well, because students will come to them, will ask questions, and each and every of them will have their own different versions. And I'm really curious to hear in the end of my talk and to hear about your experience. Yeah, so what we say here, yeah, like what Identific would like to say here on this topic. So we state that false positive risks require human review before acquisitions or any decisions regarding the document, student, his career, his exams, and so on. Detection tools like ours, it should be used for screening. It cannot be used as proof. I'm talking about AI detection part. We're thinking about certain ways of integrations with a qualitative assessment. And this is necessary. That's our plan for the future. Also, what we see, and we can clearly state that accuracy of our tool varies by text type and by writing style. Because our model is trained on certain text, on certain, let's say, data sets, on certain models. And yeah, for example, I believe it will be hard for us to find AI in book of recipes, in culinary book, because we are trained mostly on academic texts. Yeah, and we also acknowledge the problem that for non-native speakers, if we talk about English, they are being flagged at higher rates. So basically, every non-English researcher, let's say, is in this risk group, and we know that, and we have to, develop some solutions to avoid this, or let's say to minimize the impact of these facts. Yeah, so what we think of our tool in the future, how we want to evolve from what we're doing now, is really to make it a multi-method verification, so that nobody can rely purely on AI score. So that, for example, if there is a certain, let's say, if there is a high AI-generated text possibility score, then all other layers of our tool should be also used, and that could be, and then it should lead to the discussion with the author of the document. So yeah, we constantly invest in AI detection mechanism, in algorithm, in training those models to reduce these false positive rates. So in our system, you also have possibility to find translated plagiarism, and this is something which uses AI technology beyond this detection. We are going to introduce very soon very useful, let's say, layer or Another backbone of our platform is fake citations. So basically, we will track all the hallucinations. We will check all the DOI numbers and in articles which are referenced in the document. But also, we will check if the reference, if the citation is really, we will do the semantic analysis, if the citation is really describing the uh, the same idea which was in original paper. Yeah, we also encourage our partners to use contract cheating tool based on stylometry. So basically, if you have several documents from one author and he's submitting new paper, you can run this comparison and get an indication if he is the author of this paper or not. That is something to avoid paper mills, for example. And we're also testing and thinking about implementing, into our platform different other tools, such as writing tracker, which will log all the versioning, which will log amounts of copy-pasted text, which will probably measure typing speed and all of that, so that it would reduce the possibility of being wrongfully accused of AI detection, of AI-generated thesis. Yeah, so, okay, I will probably go into the finish. So a key insight from this period, from our cooperation with universities, from our discussion, is that human judgment and guidance remain paramount. So technological solutions alone, like ours, they're not sufficient substitute for a person who can make informed decision. And when I say informed decision, it's not about AI generation score or plagiarism score. It's also about a discussion, about communication, which is, of course, which should be in academic culture. And for these academic values, they should be over. The importance of those is always more important than the grades. So we believe that universities, certain institutions who use our tools in a way, in a police way, to catch the cheating person, they should reform their attitude more towards the conversation. Yeah, so I believe this dialogue between academia, vendors, and authors can really lead to the amazing results. Yeah, so that would be it from my side. It was, maybe in conclusion, just a few words. AI presents a lot of challenges to the old way of teaching and giving assessments. But on the other side, it presents enormous opportunities. And the period of years 23, 25, and forthcoming years, it is still initial adjustment. So it's all marked by trial and error from both sides, from universities and from vendors. I think everybody should acknowledge that. So there were certain bans on usage AI, and then the bans were cleared. Detection tools are being implemented into certain policies, but then, as we learned, they were thrown out. So the lesson from this period, I think, is that there should be a more balanced approach. And there is a huge role in that balanced approach, huge role in you, in researchers, in institutions, in administrators, in policy creators. Yeah, and we're happy to engage. We're happy to hear your suggestions. We're happy to adapt to your needs. And we are happy to create tools, platforms, which will make it easier for you to maintain this academic integrity and to lower all these misconduct cases. So thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me. And yeah, I'm ready to answer your questions and hear your suggestions about how we should evolve, what we should produce.
Dear Pavel, thank you so much for this deep diving in the history of science from school years. It's great. It's great to hear that our future young scientists and experienced scientists, of course, after this, are faced with the issues of academic integrity and artificial intelligence using during their school years. And as a result, and it will be positive and maybe negative result of AI using in schools. We don't know what will be next. So it's a challenge for us. So thank you so much for your presentation. And dear colleagues, if you have the questions, I also have questions. During previous session, I told my colleagues that I have a lot of questions, but I have no time to ask these questions because we have some timing, but we came over the timing. So, Dmitro, please, your questions.
Yes, thank you, Pavel, for your interesting talk. So I have actually several questions. First of all, as a person with technical background, I don't really understand how technically it's possible to detect AI-generated content, but it's another question. The main question is whether we actually still need plagiarism detection and plagiarism detection software when we have generative AI.
So you're asking if you still need it, if we notice cases of plagiarism.
No, I'm asking like that people. So people who are okay with violating academic integrity and who are used to cheat using plagiarism before, now that people are using generative AI and we cannot detect plagiarism. So why do we need to buy as an institution an anti-plagiarism software?
Well, what we see in our stats is that from the flagged documents, let's say the growth of AI text detected in the documents is it's roughly about 65 or 70%. So that's how many documents are being flagged with AI generated text. But still, despite the fact that plagiarism, this, let's say, plastic plagiarism or simple text similarity, the rate is dropping, but it's still very high. And of course, I believe that you're talking about the scientific words or works like articles. But if we take a step down, yeah, and we analyze bachelor's work or master theses, so then we see that people are still referring to the sources and without mentioning them. It still happens. So yeah, and if you go to the, let's say, to the scientific publishing, well, I don't think that any reputable scientific journal would skip the similarity check or plagiarism check by Identificate, which has the biggest database of scientific articles. So no, answering your questions, no, we cannot cancel this. I mean, you cannot cancel this subscription yet.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Jan, please, you're welcome to ask your question. You are muted.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
now
you so
great.
much. Good afternoon. Anna Khudzi, State University of Trade Economics in Kiev. And I want to say thank you for such an interesting speech and that you raised up a topical issue. And I have a question concerning your perspective. You mentioned in your speech that there are several approaches, even among professors, how to allow or not to allow students to use artificial intelligence. Which approach would be, from your perspective, the best to fight with academic integrity among students? And for instance, look, even in Denmark, they sent the request to lecturers if they allow their students to use artificial intelligence during passing exams, when they pass exams. And when they pass exam, where exactly they use artificial intelligence. So lecturers can allow even do that. So this is the first question, and my comment how to fight with artificial intelligence in Ukraine and usage and not to infringe academic integrity. This is in Ukraine. We simply need to have time for scientific work, to be paid for that. Then we will have this encourage and inspiration to work and not use artificial intelligence. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for your question. So answering that is when I said I was talking about institutional policy, because we work mostly with institution. I cannot answer for a individual professor because everyone has its own opinion, right? And of course, some of them might allow using AI even during exam. Yeah, but that's a bit worrying because wouldn't it, like kill the thought process, the creativity of this young person before he goes, to work for some corporation. Yeah, so I was referring to the institution policy. And I was saying that the policy should be issued on the institutional level, and then of course it can be adjusted slightly, on the level of departments. But when each and every, let's say, instructor or educator has his own view, then it is so confusing for a student that then he's just afraid to use any AI. He's afraid of checking. He will use even if his document was created. Well, if he's the author and he didn't use much of AI, he will run his work through several years of AI humanizers, just to reduce his stress of being flagged. So I'm not sure if I answered your question, but what I wanted to say, it's on a personal level, of course, it's everyone's decision, right? Based on their opinion and experience. But on institutional level, the policy should be issued. That's my, after having many discussions with the academic institutions here in Europe, mostly in Lithuania, and with students, I believe that it's responsibility of administration to facilitate this document, to consult with researchers, and then issue that, as a guidelines for each and every step of, for each and every academic process. So not only for students, but also for research, for publishing. That would be my opinion.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I see in chat, and I didn't see raised hands to this time. So thank you so much for your presentation. And finally, I have a time for the questions on the third day. Yeah. So my question is very pragmatic. During the last 2 days, we discussed about the necessity of AI checkers in our scientific life. Why we need these checkers in the process of our scientific activity. As you said before at the start of your presentation, we have the student critically raised the rate of their works. One of our speakers at the first day, she wrote with other colleagues, she wrote the article Small and Sexy. Very interesting title, and it's about article, because in the age of AI we need to shorten the articles. Yeah, because in some case we have no any sense to have a long text which are generated by AI. So my question is very simple and very pragmatic. What are the benefits from using of AI checkers for us, for scientists?
So now are you speaking as a scientist, or are you speaking as an educator who works with students?
I am speaking as a scientist who wants to use AI, especially for generation of text, with some other supporting activities. But finally, if I want to use, for example, AI tool as a Grammarly, as a non-native speaker, as a result, we have 100% of AI generated text, like for false positive.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's one of an examples. Yeah. So why we need AI checkers in our research life? What are the benefits of using of AI checkers?
Well, in the research life, I believe the only benefit of using AI checker, as a sole module of our platform, is that you can anticipate what would be reaction, let's say, of certain journal editorial board, or certain funding committee, because some funding bodies are also implementing AI detection software. So yeah, that would give you, maybe that would make you a bit more confident before submitting your paper to the journal or before applying for a certain funding project. That's the only use for researcher in his research projects. That's the only use which I can imagine. Basically, yeah.
Thank you so much. It's your opinion about as a expert in the software development and as an expert in marketing tools, and we are ready to discuss because, for example, I had a case. I submitted my abstract to Good Conference. And after this, I received the result of AI checking tools. So if we are talking about similarity checker, the total percentage was 0. So exclude literature or something widespread words. But I had 100% AI detection. So I'm sure that I am the author of this article, and I generated the part of illustration for this, but AI checker didn't check this because it's only about the text. So
Yep.
I asked my colleagues who were the editors of this section what I need to do. So at the end of the article, we had the notice that AI checker, that AI tools were used for the spelling correctives and other things which are related to the English language because I am not a native speaker. And
Right.
these colleagues told me, we expect that Springer will accept our volume for the publication. So, what will we say them if we receive 100% as AI generation from your article? It's not possible. It's bad because we are faced on the consult of this proposal for publishing of this volume for our conference. So please rewrite this text totally. After this, of course, I told them that now I have no any articles in their conference. So we have a lot of issues and we have a lot of challenges. How to explain, for example, to the conference organizers or to the editorial team of journal and reviewers that we use AI not as a violator of academic integrity, but as other assistant. So my question was about this, and you presented a brilliant statistics because we see that students pupils on the background, they use AI for the information, for search of information. It's great for scientists too. So maybe they are on the correct way, but we need to pump these skills and to explain how to use AI properly. So thank you so much for your presentation. This presentation is some kind of retrospective. What we expect from pupils in past and from our young scientists in future. Thank you so much. So, dear colleagues, do you have any other questions?
Artyom, if I may comment
Yeah.
here on
Yeah, of
your
course.
question. So, yeah, it's basically one of the issues when I mentioned, and why did it happen, is because before the AI era, there were several major providers of plagiarism tools in the industry. In the recent years, these providers, some of them merged, and it became almost a monopoly in this field, right? And I believe that in the very beginning, the messaging, what was coming from these major players, was very, very confusing. When they introduced these AI scores, when they were telling that our algorithm are almost 100%, where they presented their own findings of how great their software is, and the false positive percentage was so low that it was and of course on the other side of the table there was academia, which didn't know what to do with this number of brilliant student theses, brilliant bachelor works, amazing master theses, and yeah, and the academia simply administration. I'm meaning administrations. I'm not talking about researchers here. Yeah, but administration took this ball and turned it into crystal ball, and they thought that now
Yeah.
they can see everything, and that was a huge mistake. That was very because that it was very short period for this type of development, and even few articles during that time could lead to absolutely wrongful impression. So that's my view on that.
Yeah, we have a lot. I think we have a lot of cases, and my colleagues also, because we are on the first step of correct using of AI in academia systematically. I mean in system point of view, and also on the other hand, publication is only one tool for the sharing of information about our scientific research. So we need to know what the publishers expect from our site in case of using of AI in academia as in educational and scientific work. But unfortunately, we have no any systematic approach, because we have some journals want to show their policy about AI using. Some journals know, some conferences, like my case, they didn't explain what I need to do further, because they have no any expertise in this case. So we are faced with a lot of challenges, and I hope in the nearest future we will solve some problems with strong technological policies, not only declarations about using of AI. We need to have very strong and very detailed technological policy in particularly in science, because we need to have an explanation. Yeah, it's not about the some recommendation about some government recommendations or recommendations from ministry about using of AI in medical research, in sociological research. Yeah, it depends on that area, but in general we need to create something. So, and after this we will have clear rules. We will have the frame for the using of AI, and after this it should be better for us. But we need some time, and during this time we have a lot of cases about misunderstanding of using AI in our research activity. So, dear Pavel, thank you so much for your presentation again. Dear colleagues, thank you for active work, and tomorrow we will have one more presentation, and I think this presentation will be as interested as four previous presentations. So thank you so much for your attendance. Dear Pavel, thank you so much. Шановні колеги, щиро дякую вам за те, що сьогодні ми мали активну роботу, що сьогодні завдяки нашому спікеру ми занурилися в дослідження штучного інтелекту трішечки глибше, ніж науковці, побачили корні, бекграунд, чому взагалі так відбувається, бо науковці також виховуються в майбутнє в школах, і окрім викликів, пов'язаних з академічною доброчесністю, з'явились нові виклики, які пов'язані зі штучним інтелектом. Шановні друзі, ми з вами зустрічаємося завтра. Завтра у нас буде наступний виступ. Спікер чудовий, анонсую його вже завтра і зроблю йому, як кажуть, CV дуже коротке, так? От, з нетерпінням чекаємо, що буде завтра, тому що ці 4 дні були дуже активні. Я всім дякую, шановні колеги, максимального тепла і світла в душі і навкруги. Нехай згинуть наші вороженьки і до зустрічі завтра. До побачення.